On the subject of mindfulness, there is a book I think that could help our audience, and that's your book, From Mindfulness to Heartfulness,
Oh,
Transforming Self and Society with Compassion. And I was trying to get a figure on, mindfulness has become this multi-million or maybe even multi-billion dollar industry with many books, courses, celebrity endorsements, and so on. But I'd like to go back to what you were touching on earlier on how we should understand mindfulness
mm.
and, yeah, eventually how you've tied that to heartfulness. How do you describe mindfulness when you're asked?
It's always changing, I'm finding, because I think one of the things that I am most grateful for is that I remain curious and alive about life. And I want to be open to being affected by what's out there, what comes to me, and learning from my experiences, learning from other people. And I've been teaching this for a number of years now, and my understanding of it evolves along with that teaching because I always want to teach in a way that I'm learning as well, and that really live the what I often say is that teaching and learning go best together, and that everybody who comes to me because they want to learn from me are also teachers if I'm open to
Yes.
that. And I find that many of these so-called students and learners are actually become my teachers when I am open to that. And I'm not always open to it because I'm often in the position of being the one who is designated as the teacher
Hmm.
and the leader, the wise, and more the wise elder. And so I'm supposed to have the knowledge, and I sometimes, give in to that ego tripping and feel like I need to give something to other people that they will then see as, oh, he's a great leader and he's a great teacher. And yet I realize, I'm just really an old fool. I love the expression obaka-san. So that I'm, baka is just the fool. But if you add o and san, it sounds like a wonderful fool or a holy fool. And so I feel like I'm just constantly, being a fool, but I'm also a fool can have the role also of helping other people to be aware of how they are not really living with an openness and a embracing of life. And I feel like that my awareness of mindfulness has been really helped by a lot of students who have told me that my idea that mindfulness is almost the same as meditation, right? That you get to mindfulness by going through meditation. And I've had many people assume that I'm Buddhist, and that even Buddhist monks have asked me, where did I study Zen? So there's a nice reply, well, yeah, Zen was Zen, Mananda. And they get a kick out of that. But I have actually, not studied Buddhism much. I have practiced it to a certain degree, but I really don't know that much about it. And I've moved because so many students have told me that they find meditation difficult, or they try it and they find it's not for them. And I have, persisted in saying, well, you've got to practice more. You can't just, try it and say it doesn't work. And they said, but I've tried it for a long time. Or for many reasons like that, I have moved to a much more flexible, open
Oh,
position. Mindfulness is really just bringing your attention to the present moment. And it's bringing your whole self as much as possible to that moment. And that's why I like that kanji, which
hmm.
shows and I just happen to have my book with me.
Well, there we go. Perfect.
So the kanji, which shows, on the top, this is nen, and the top shows that sense of ima, right now, and the bottom shows the kokoro. And I feel like this is what mindfulness is, in the sense that it's bringing yourself to the present moment, yourself as much as possible, not just the ego self, not just the mind self, but the self that is shown represented by the kokoro, the sense of the heartful part of you, the whole part of you. And however you do that, that's what mindfulness is. It could be through meditation, and that could be the greatest path to a deeper sense of mindfulness. But I also find that many practitioners of meditation don't seem to get at what I think of as more of the heartfulness, the way of experiencing life with in an open-hearted way. And that's something that I felt my grandmother embodied throughout her very long life of up to 111. And I thought that the term heartfulness captured that more than mindfulness,
Mm,
which I think has become, as you pointed out, something that has become very commercialized, very materialistic. And also, it's embedded in a kind of American, for me anyway, because I live here, and I've seen it's how it's evolved here, and it seems very individualistic. It's based in an individualism, a philosophy of individualism, and the places that I live and work in Silicon Valley and at Stanford University, I see it being used more as a tool, another
mm,
tool to become successful. So use mindfulness so that you can be even more successful, achieve more. So I wanted to also, move us away from that, also that obsession with neuroscience and brain science, and seeing everything through has to be taught and understood through what's going on in the brain in order for us to believe it. And I wanted us to move more away from that kind of a mechanical way of seeing the human body and mind and spirit. And so I thought heartfulness might be a
mm.
way of doing that. And it hasn't really caught on that much, but I still like it and I still use it a lot.